Have you ever failed NCLEX, but nobody actually stopped you and told you why you keep missing the same types of questions? Well, then you might need remediation. Remediation is all about taking that pause and really figuring out if you have a problem with content, or are you an overthinker? Or do you get mixed up with context? So I wanted to come on here today to tell you how you can sign up for remediation and why it might be the missing piece. So if you need remediation, it's free in the V2 right now, meaning you can take a portion of our remediation totally free. Let me show you. So listen, if you sign up for the V2 free account, you'll see the yellow bar. That means you're in the trial account. Next to my picture, there is a circle that says remediation, okay? Remediation is the place that you want to go because there you get to do those very important initial evaluations. So what are the beginning steps that everybody should take if they are trying to remediate? And this is for somebody who has taken NCLEX, you haven't passed it, and you don't need to keep studying harder. That's not the solution, right? The solution is for you to take the time to investigate why you keep getting answers wrong, okay? So you're going to start remediation by doing your learning preferences assessment. You need to know, are you an audio learner? Are you a visual learner? Again, that's all in the V2. The next thing that you'll do, and this is what I'm really excited about, is you will, for the first time ever, be able to fill out this form here, which is our Remediation 5 form. This looks at the 5 errors that nursing students make that causes them to fail NCLEX. Let me start with the first one. This is for those who fail NCLEX at 85 questions. If you fail NCLEX at 85 questions, you most certainly have an issue with content. Okay, so I want you to take the content confusion remediation test, right? The second error is context. This is for some people who know the content, but if the situation is unfamiliar to you, you choose the wrong answer, right? That happens. You can also take our overthinker test and finally understand if you have a safety issue, because overthinkers have safety issues. Okay. And so again, this is part of remediation and it's right in the V2. I don't want you to pass this up if you're just scrolling, but what I'm saying resonates to you. I want you to take the opportunity to do remediation. November is remediation month. And so this is part of our free gift to you inside of the V2. You can leave the V2 knowing your learning preferences and it'll cost you nothing, okay? It'll cost you nothing. Remediation is not another question bank. Remediation is not you buying a book or having a private tutor. It is a focused assessment. So you can check out the website, remarnurse.com. Remarnurse.com is where you will start. You can read about remediation, but again, also you can get access to our remediation guide that will allow you to go on that 6-week journey. It looks like this. It'll allow you to go on that 6-week journey where you are intentionally looking at, hey, why do I get these types of questions wrong? Or why after doing 100 questions, I'm still second guessing myself. Those are things now that you have the ability to look at. So take the opportunity because you don't need another NCLEX review. You need remediation. And I see the great questions on the screen. People are asking, how can I sign up for remediation? How can I get the Remediation 5 workbook? It's all in the V2, but check out the website, remarnurse.com, okay? Go there first, and you have the ability to sign up for a free trial account. There, you can get started learning all about what remediation is and the difference it'll make for you. Because one of the goals that I have is that you feel more confident moving forward, okay? You feel more confident moving forward. So if you've tried question banks before, if you've tried private tutoring, if you've tried to review the content, but you still don't feel secure and confident, remediation. Jenny says, hi, Professor Regina. I'm officially a safe nurse. First time. Thank you. Is this live? This is actually live right now. Because we introduced remediation today, people had questions about how do they go about it. And one of the questions was, is remediation with REMAR different from V2? And I wanted to clarify that no, remediation is a part of V2. So everybody that is doing remediation, you still are doing these two books, okay? We still are on the learning path. We never leave the learning path. Now, what you have the benefit of doing first is your assessment. Yes. So our remediation 5, this is our personalized track. I was trying to find a way to say it, but this is where you get to dive into you. Okay. Boba Coco says, I'm doing the Q banks and I'm getting better and better. That's the goal. How sweet is that to be able to see improvement in real time? And that's just because content is actually a great foundation. So you're doing the learning path. What you're adding differently with remediation is additional assignments. And the additional assignments are found inside of the V2, but this is your guide to those assignments. So this tells you, let me show you, it's a calendar, okay? This is what the calendar looks like every week. So this will tell you what you're actually doing. And we gave this remediation to anyone who has the full V2 course. You now have the option to slow down, focus in, get the extra assignments, okay? And I wish that everyone who failed NCLEX can know about this because it is really a different process. But I don't want to try to convince you to do anything. I want you to just see what could be missing, all right? I want you to see the process of knowing more about how you think and the reason why you keep second guessing yourself. So I think if you've ever changed an answer on a practice test or you feel the need to keep changing your answers, it's a pattern, okay? And if you don't identify the pattern correctly, you will keep doing it over and over again, okay? Comment says, fingers crossed, I will graduate on December. I have both books and I need the remediation before going into V2 to prepare to take the NCLEX at the end of January. Yes, I love that you have your plan now. You're like, I'm going to do remediation before I take my my V2. And that's the beauty of education, because you are able to make more informed decisions. Imagine if knowing you struggle with second guessing before going into a question bank. Then while you're doing those questions, you can say, okay, I need to work on my confidence because I'm a second guesser, right? Or I have this pattern of doing this. The danger is sometimes people don't realize that they have this issue until they get in front of the NCLEX, right? And so we want to make sure that that is not your case. I want you to know the first week of remediation, you will be doing assessments to determine your learning style, your errors that you will make, because everyone makes errors, okay? It's just the type of error that we make. We tend to have default errors, meaning that when we're not confident, there are certain things that we fall back on that make us feel more secure. So for example, when an overthinker is not confident, they will begin to add details. They will begin to add information to the scenario that NCLEX gives them to make them more comfortable. Okay. And it has nothing to do with the STEM. So that's why overthinking is quite a big problem. All right. We want to address that. Congratulations to everyone who is passing. I love that you can get on here and just share that great news. It is the goal. It is the goal. So what are you going to do when it comes to remediation? Are you in? Are you looking forward to finally knowing the information? Are you able to pause If you are testing in January or February, you have time to do remediation. Okay. Now, if you're testing in 2 weeks and you know you have not been consistent and you know that you need to investigate why you keep changing your answers or why you keep second guessing yourself, give yourself time. Change that test date and do the work. Okay. I believe we know the content, but we do overthink. I know I do. And what I want you to do is take that overthinking test so that you can know for sure. Because the thing about overthinking is you don't want to just say you're an overthinker if that's not something that you actually struggle with. And I find that to be the case where people say, oh, I'm a second guesser. I second guess myself. No, there is a specific reason for second guessing, like there is a specific reason for overthinking, and they are not the same. And nor should you treat them like they're the same. So I want you to be informed about how you are to remediate. Okay. I want you to actually know that the reason why this is so valuable is that it really creates a change in the way that you approach everything. Okay. And that is something that you are not going to get without doing this process. Okay. So for those of you who are like, oh, I don't know if remediation is right for me, I would definitely have you consider, okay, if you just go do an NCLEX review without this knowledge, you will be studying harder. You'll be trying to achieve a feeling, right, of confidence. You'll be trying to achieve, a completion score. However, if you are not identifying your errors during the striving, you're just working harder, but the results might be the same as before. Okay. So I know remediation is not for everybody, but there is a specific person who this will be life changing for. And it will change the way you approach education even after NCLEX. So after NCLEX, some of you want to get your master's, or some of you want to go into maybe a nurse practitioner or a neonatal specialist. You will be able to carry this information and these strategies into your education for always, which is huge. Okay. So when it comes to remediation, it absolutely costs a little bit more than an NCLEX review, but the purpose is the skill set is totally different. So I'm hoping to work with nursing students who see the value in that. I hear the question is really good. I know I am an overthinker and I ignore my gut a lot until when I do my remediation at school after the test, then I'm like, I knew it all along. So I need it. Okay. So I need it. So you're saying you use remediation in school? Definitely you need it before the boards. And I want to know if you will find that you kind of have the same thing, because what you're talking about is ignoring your gut. I know I'm an overthinker. Ignoring your gut is not overthinking. That's actually second guessing. And so one of the things that I want to do for this month, and I'll be doing a Black Friday review, is I'll be kind of speaking to those specific groups because they're not the same. Like I said, overthinking is not the same as second guessing. And content, people who are confused by content is not the same as having contextual difficulties. It's really not the same. I can't say it enough. But actually knowing the difference is going to allow you to progress forward. Okay. So when you're taking the approach to studying for NCLEX, passing NCLEX, being successful, again, our core structure never changes. It's the learning path in the V2, which is remediation, because it doesn't allow you to skip around. When you're on the learning path, you only go in one direction, and that's forward. So it's very accountable to you at that. The diagnostics in front of the remediation just allow you to get a better picture of who you are personally, because the way you think is not the same as maybe your study buddy or your teacher or somebody you went to class with. And so you should be prepared with that knowledge. So I'm so happy to be able to offer it for you here at Remar Review. We worked really, really hard to be able to provide these assessments, be the first to do it. And I'm just really proud of my team. So during the month of November, we will make remediation available to everyone who has the V2. And each week we will go into a different part of the remediation. So this week you are taking those tests to see if you struggle with content confusion, context mix up, if you struggle with overthinking, if you struggle with the wrong priority, or if you struggle with second guessing. And I am really looking forward to getting those results from you. Let me know how you scored and what was your lowest score and what was your highest score. And then next week, we will talk about how we are going to remediate each one of those groups. So I will see you there. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this live and all of the great questions and helping us to acknowledge that there are a group of people who need more support during their NCLEX process. And so our remediation is built because of you guys. So thank you so much. And I will see you later. Remember, you can, you will, and you must pass NCLEX.